Hi everyone and welcome back. It's definitely been a while since my last follow along video. I was so super busy and was really struggling to film any content, but now I'm definitely back in the game. Okay, so today we're going to focus on full body mobility with a little bit of exploration, some simple movements, some maybe not so simple movements. For some of you, really it's aimed towards anyone. You can do it in the morning, you can do it in the evening, you can do it as a break at work, whatever you prefer, whichever variation you prefer. Make sure you have a little bit of space. Ideally you want to be barefoot, okay? And we're gonna begin. So first of all, you're gonna stand upright. Find yourself standing upright, feet comfortably apart, arms relaxed. And as always, we're gonna start with a little bit of sort of body scan and just to tune in and to see how we feel. Okay, so arms soft and relaxed, knees soft and relaxed. Allow yourself to close your eyes, just bringing awareness to your breath. Give yourself a few moments. Notice the qualities of your breath. Speed, depth, how it affects the other structures like a rib cage, belly. Motion of the arms, motion of the head. Notice how you feel. And if you remember when we were talking about traffic light systems, so think about sort of trying to figure out what zone are you in. Maybe you're bursting with energy, and in the green zone, maybe you're in the amber zone, so-so, feeling so-so, or maybe in the red zone, where you really want to take it easy. It can be somewhere in between as well. So simply visualize, simply see how you feel, and remember that. Notice any excessive parasitic tension. With each inhale and exhale, try to melt away that tension. Melting away the tension into the floor. So we're going to do 5 times deep long inhalation in through your nose. Let it go. And again, try to have longer exhale than you inhale. Number 3. Number 4. And the last one. When you finish, you can gently open your eyes. And we're just going to start this session with a little bit of weight shifts. So you're going to start going from side to side, keeping your arms relaxed. You can lift your feet softly off the floor, almost like in slow motion, lifting your foot and then stepping softly in one direction, gently weight shifting, bringing your feet together, and then perhaps other leg, other direction, just keeping it very soft. Soft belly, soft jaw, joining your legs, reaching. It doesn't need to be far. And don't rush with each step. Sometimes it can be surprisingly difficult, but no judgment, really trying to keep it as soft as you can. We're going to bring some tension later on. For now, keep it soft. Trying not to lose balance, always keeping my center of mass above my feet. Making sure you explore all the areas. Notice I'm keeping my torso, keeping my arms, keeping my chest. Everything is very soft. As I just weight shift, you can even slide the foot towards the other one. And you can even add almost like a mini, as you reach, mini squat, shifting the hips gently down, then going up to the other side. Changing orientation, where you're facing with your chest and your hips. You can pivot. You can change the orientation of the foot. Gently, gently. So foot reaches first, you weight shift, you're bringing your feet together. One foot reaches, you weight shift gently, bringing your feet close. Let's do a few more reps. And come to a stop. Beautiful. So next one, as you're keeping your feet maybe slightly wider than your hip width, we're going to start with some spinal articulation, spinal exploration. So we're going to revisit our Chinese dragon drill, or sensation or visualization. So think about head leading, arms completely relaxed, starting very slowly, and then the rest of the spine follows, okay? So keeping your feet grounded for now, keeping your knees soft, everything relaxed. So head leads in one direction, spine follows. So trying to keep it soft. Obviously, although I'm focusing with the spine, I'm going to also include my knees, my hips. So I'm starting in this sort of neck level. So I'm not going too far for now. Think about all the possibilities of the spine. Rather than staying just in one or two planes of motion, you can rotate, arch a little bit, and then gradually going deeper and further, keeping your feet stuck to the floor, keeping your arms relaxed. Start going further and further. Notice the motion, the neck spine, torso, so thoracic spine, mid back, lower back, hips. But remember, head is leading the way. You can start playing with tempo as well, going a little bit further, maybe a little bit faster, a little bit slower. Maybe isolating only your neck for a few times, relaxing your jaw. Notice how the simple motion of the head, or should I say head leading, affects the rest of the body, the rest of the structures. You're going to spend here for a few moments. Take your time. If you get a little bit dizzy, that's fine. And fade out. Beautiful. So the next one, we're going to include our arms. So same position of the feet. Notice how I'm not too close, not too far. Somewhere in between is fine, just to have stable base of support. You can even sink down gently with your hips, so bending the knees a little bit. So the next one, we're going to start including our arms. We're going to revisit our visualization, arms being underneath the water. Okay, very soft for now. Also, maybe visualize almost like you're in a weightless, gravity-free area. Okay, so think about articulating everything from your fingers. So you can start from your fingers even. So just articulating your fingers, but very softly. Think about not using too much effort. And then your wrists, slowly. So notice all the possibilities. How far can you go? The wrist, the fingers, but without using too much effort. And now elbows. So try to think about, actually without too much thinking, try to start moving all the joints. So there's not even one joint that's staying still. Joint of the arms. And now shoulders. Obviously it's going to include your spine and the rest of the body. Keeping it very smooth, very soft. Pushing the water, pushing the clouds. Notice how the arm motion can affect now the spine, maybe even hips, pelvis, legs. Notice not to get stuck in the same position. It's very common to stay in your, sort of within your patterns, usual habitual patterns, but try to move your arm in some more awkward angles, but again keeping it soft. Relax your jaw. Don't forget about your fingertips and wrists. Maybe for a few moments you can focus on one arm. And then the other arm, keeping the other one soft. And then finishing with both arms. And again, playing with tempo. Faster, slower. And come to a stop. Beautiful. Nice. Now we're going to revisit a bit simpler variation, feet grounded. We're going to keep arms completely relaxed, and the motion is going to start from this rotation of the chest, rotation of the pelvis, rotation of the knees, arms completely relaxed. Every time looking behind yourself. And notice the slight weight shift already. As I'm turning towards one side, I'm sort of putting a little bit more weight on the opposite leg. So if I'm turning to the right, I'm putting more weight to the left leg, and the other way around. Keeping your arms floaty and relaxed. We're going to quickly transition into something similar, but going from side to side. Notice as I'm reaching towards one side, lifting the opposite heel, creating nice spiral, down and up on the other side. I'm still keeping it super soft. Arms completely relaxed. You should be able to do this comfortably for a while without getting too tired, as you're using momentum and gravity. And fade out. Beautiful. And the sort of last one, we're going to focus a little bit on the upper body. So think about reaching towards one side. So if I'm reaching towards the left side, I'm reaching with my right arm. Other arm is rotating as well. And notice the feet as well. Like I'm going to start allowing my feet also to move. Okay? Mid position, reaching. So I want to allow my shoulder blade to travel on the rib cage, reaching as far as I can. Switching mid position, other side. Mid position, other side. You can play with tempo. If you wish to go faster, you can, or you can do it very slowly. Mid position. So find your rhythm. That's always important. And again, depending on how you feel. Few more reps. And come to a stop. Beautiful. Nicely done. Awesome. So the next one, we're gonna already aim to travel down towards the squat. So we're gonna have this lovely sequence. So feet are sort of hip width or any variation that you prefer, any distance you prefer, because you're going to go into squat. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna inhale, reach, you're gonna roll your spine all the way down into forward fold. We're not gonna stay there, we're gonna transition into the squat, but we're also not gonna stay here. You're gonna place your hands behind as you're going gently with your knees forward, stretching your toes. It's a combination of a couple of movements. Pushing back into the squat, lifting the hips up, and reversing all the way up. So in your own time, help yourself in this bottom position, especially if you don't have squat, if you lack ankle mobility. The goal is not to reach the floor with your knees here. The goal is to simply drive your knees forward with keeping your hips open. And pushing back straight away into forward fold. Ideally exhaling as you go down. And in your own time, find your tempo. Let's go. And the last one, I'm just gonna stay in forward fold rather than going all the way into the squat. And here, be free to bend one knee and extend the other one, okay? Especially if you're struggling with hamstring flexibility, so take your time here. Arms on the floor, depending how comfortable you are, or maybe holding the elbows. Keeping your neck relaxed, keeping your upper back and shoulders relaxed. Beautiful. And then you're going to allow yourself to go all the way down into this steep lunge, okay? So think about, just so you're all on the same page, left foot forward, right leg is extended, so straight. But if you struggle, keep the knee on the floor, that's fine, as long as you keep your hips low. So with the next drill, which you're going to do for 6 reps each side, so think about keeping the supporting elbow straight, keeping your hips low. One arm reaching as far as you can, and then the same elbow going as close as you can to the floor. For 6 reps. And 2. 3. 4. 5. And the last one, 6. Beautiful. You're gonna switch, same thing other side. First, again, allow yourself a few seconds, allow your hips to sink down. And then we're gonna do the same thing. So reaching up, elbow to the floor. Reaching, elbow to the floor. Six reps. Lovely. And then you're going to sit down gently on the floor. Okay? Lovely. So in the next drill, we're going to focus, focus on a little bit more on hip mobility. Okay? So a few variations. We're going to start first with internal rotation, fairly structured variation. So for those of you who are comfortable with this, arms off the floor, chest towards the upright, or if you struggle, keep your hands behind, okay? So feet wider, and without moving your torso too much, without deviating too much, you're going to start going from one side One knee towards the floor or as close as you can, and then the other one. One, and then the other one. Take your time. You can do it even slower. You can reach down and then pausing in this position, in this stretch. And just for the warning, it can be a little bit tender, especially depending on your hip anatomy. So take your time. And alternatively, arms off the floor if you feel comfortable with this. Just a few more reps each side. Lovely. Beautiful. So the next one, just think about transitioning with your legs, not 90-90, but this shin box position. So what we're going to do here, shin box, why the name? Just because you're creating this sort of almost like half box, full box with your shins, okay? At least one part of the box. So help yourself with your hands if you struggle with this one, especially if you're bowling like me. So you're going to lift yourself up, hips up and driving forward into extension, sitting down, okay? You're going to do it for 5 reps one side, switching 5 reps other side, okay? Let's give it a go. So lifting up, down. Help yourself with your hands if necessary. Up and down. 3, 4, and 5. Sit down. Beautiful. We're smoothly going to transition on the other side. Set your position. And again, hips up and down. Drive your hips as much as you can forward, squeezing your glutes. 4 and 5. Beautiful. Nice. So now we're going to go into 90-90. So similar to shin box, but knees are a little bit more open. And you're going to reach the inner part of your front thigh. You're going to try to reach that part with your belly. So rather than rounding too far, think about even just being here. It's going to give you a very nice stretch on the outside of the hip. So you're going to reach as far as you can. And then we're going to pause there for 10 seconds. When you get to your end range, focusing on your breath. Let's give it a go. Three, 2, 1. Beautiful. Transition to the other side. Same thing. So set your position. There might be some differences. Completely fine. And then pulling yourself into the stretch as far as you can. And we're going to pause there for 10 seconds again. Beautiful. Nice enough. And lift yourself. And the last one, we have this straddle. So for some of you this might be uncomfortable, so you can use meditation cushion or yoga block or something to sit, especially if you sort of feel like you're going to fall back if you have very tight hip flexors, okay? Tight hips, okay? So what we're going to do here, so we're going to revisit our spinal articulation, okay? So if you remember, head leading, spinal wave, in this sagittal plane of motion. So head leading. So head is sort of diving down, and then the rest of the spine follows. Okay, so can you find a little bit of range, a little bit of comfort and smoothness in the motion as you dive down and then going all the way up. You can even bend your knees if it's helpful. Let's do this 6 to 8 reps. Each time going a little bit further if you can. A little bit deeper. Diving and then arching. So notice how I need to roll my pelvis forward in order to go a bit deeper. Let's do another 3 more reps. And the last one. Beautiful. Nicely done. Awesome work. Okay. So what we're gonna do now, you're gonna go in this cross leg position. If you can, doesn't need to be perfect cross leg. And now while keeping your knees fairly low, if you can, keeping your sitting bones on the floor, you're gonna try to reach as far as you can forward, aiming to get with your belly or your chest towards your ankles. If you struggle with that, that's fine. Just try to go as low as you can. And then you're gonna pause there for 10 seconds, focusing on the breath, feeling the stretch. Beautiful. And slowly exit. Amazing work. Okay? So while we're here, we're going to do one more in this position. So think about twisting, going back to twisting. One hand is going to be in front, one hand behind, just to sort of push yourself into the stretch. So from one side to other side. One side, other side. Anywhere between 3 to 5 reps on each side. One more each. Beautiful, nice. And I did say this is going to be the last one. Why not having one more? Which I sort of miss at the very beginning of the session, which is going to be focused a little bit more of opening the rib cage and the lats on one side. So think about, as I'm holding, if I'm opening my left side, I'm going to hold my right hand towards my, I'm going to hold it on my right ankle or in any anchor point you prefer, okay? What I'm going to have, rather than straight arm, I'm going to place my hand just behind my head, okay, depending on your flexibility. And then this elbow is trying to reach on the opposite side as far as you can. Some twisting is allowed. Keeping your sitting bones on the floor, pausing for a second or two. Switching, same thing other side. I don't know about you, but this one feels amazing. Again, 3 to 5 reps each. And one more time each side. Awesome, nice. And now as you're coming towards the end, we're gonna start putting more pressure, closer to the end, we're gonna start putting more pressure on our hands and the shoulders. So you're gonna go into, rather than crawling position, you're gonna go in downward dog. But again, try to think about keeping it soft, keeping it relaxed, not using too much strength, too much tension. Some tension is required, but not too much, okay? So going in downward dog, and just first of all get used to the position. Give yourself mini wiggle, twisting one knee in perhaps, other knee in. Pushing your shoulders towards your feet a couple of times, opening your chest. Nice. And then lifting one leg. So bend your knee, point your toes, open your hips, so hip extension, and then in this top position, I'm adding this lovely twist, pausing for a second or two, So knee is trying to reach the floor, the ceiling as high as you can. And then switch. Lifting up. And then don't forget about the twist. Pausing for a second or two. Awesome. And now we're just going to try to gently move through space. It's going to be very subtle, minimal movement as you keep transitioning from side to side while keeping your hips low. Okay? So it's going to look something like this. So reaching, and then maybe placing that foot somewhere else. Changing the orientation of your hands. Then lifting the other leg. Okay? Let's give it a go in your own time. Being mindful of the space. Changing the position of the hands a little bit perhaps, just so you have weights on the different areas. And I'm going to do one more each side. And we're going to finish into the squat. Okay? And shake your wrist a little bit. Sideways, up and down. Lovely. And before we finish the session, I wasn't actually planning on doing this, but why not? Especially if it's morning, especially feeling a bit tired. Why not challenging your brain a little bit? Okay, so rather than just doing a bit of movement, which positively affects our brain, we evolved into what are we today as a species because of the complexity of the movement. So we're gonna have one coordination task. I hope I'm gonna be able to do it straight away. So think about this. You have horns and you have this side, okay? So horns and this side. So what you're trying to do is keep switching. One hand to, one hand horns, okay? Try to find efficiency. That's your task. I'll give you, let's say, 1 minute here and really do your best. Try, you need to figure out, it's a very simple thing that you need to do with one of the fingers. I don't want to rob you of opportunity in explaining, but think about as little correction as possible, okay? So let's give it a go. I always like to prefer to hold my hands like this, facing me. So twos, let's go. You can do it slowly first, really bringing the awareness into your fingers. Notice what switch needs to happen. And then as you get more comfortable, you can add a little bit of speed. Notice how it affects your breath. And then you can really speed up. When you get a hang of it, it actually starts to be very easy. Okay? So let's leave it there. Why this? So as we're getting older, especially if we get stuck in certain routines, our brains, I don't want to say my English is not my first language, so I'm struggling. So the gist of the story is to continue learning new skills. Okay, so it doesn't need to be movement related. It can be learning new language. It can be learning new instrument. It can be learning how to dance. Just keep challenging yourself even as you're getting into older stages of the life. It's very important for the cognitive health, emotional health, and sort of motor health, the movement health, movement hygiene. Okay, so we usually, when we try, for example, this simple example, when we try to learn a certain skill, we're gonna get frustrated very quickly, especially if you fail, if you can't do it straight away, and you're just gonna move on, which is, we don't want to do that. So basically what you're trying to do, you want to embrace, if there's a frustration, good, it's gonna pass. The more you get it, the more you do it, the better you're gonna get. But that moment when you fail, and I like to call it brain fart, that moment, this is where the synapses, this is where you're creating new pathways, neural pathways in your brain. This is where the skill learning starts to happen. Okay, so, but you just need to persevere. So try not to be the person that just try something and then, not for me. Try even some simplest skill like this mini coordination, try to get a hang of it. Once you get it, practice it a bit and then move on, learn something new. Great way to challenge our brains and the bodies. Sorry for a little bit of rant at the end, but I think it's very, very useful sort of message. Reminder to myself and to everyone. So everything that we do here, everything, all the movements, all the sort of principles, I'm trying to also have in my own practice, in my own teaching. So it's not something that I just come out with and that's just about it. And I just give it to others and I'm not applying it. No. And this is everything that I've also learned for some other people, other teachers, other collectives, okay? So some new stuff, some old stuff. So we're gonna end here. So again, sorry for the rant. It's been a while. So I really enjoy the engagement with YouTube comments and the messages that you're sending me with ideas and the feedback. So please continue. It means a lot. If you would like to support this channel, please subscribe. If you would like to add small donation, no pressure, there's going to be a link in the description of the video. So thank you so much. Like, share, comment, and see you soon. Take care.